The truth about diet trends and intermittent fasting. What you need to know. Introduction. The hype around diets and fasting. Dieting trends have always been popular, with each new wave promising revolutionary benefits for weight loss and overall health. One of the most talked about trends today is intermittent fasting, especially among men looking to shed excess weight. But while fasting has its advantages, it also comes with some significant drawbacks. In this discussion, we'll explore the history of diet trends, how intermittent fasting works, and the potential downsides you should consider before adopting this approach. A look back at diet trends, what has worked and what hasn't. Over the past 2 centuries, different diets have emerged, each attempting to address concerns related to processed food consumption and obesity. One of the earliest diet fads can be traced back to the 19th century with the Banting diet, named after William Banting. This diet restricted starchy carbohydrates, processed foods, and alcohol, focusing instead on whole, unprocessed foods. Sound familiar? That's because it laid the foundation for modern low-carb diets. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we see the Atkins diet gaining traction in the 1960s and 70s. It was a response to the rise of highly processed foods, promoting a high-fat, low-carb approach. By the late 1990s, the paleo diet emerged, rejecting processed foods entirely and advocating for a diet based on what our Paleolithic ancestors ate. The common denominator? Every successful diet emphasizes reducing or eliminating processed foods. This brings us to a crucial question. What exactly is processed food? Companies like Nestlé and Kellogg's spend billions creating foods that are nearly impossible to resist, using a scientifically optimized mix of sugar, fat, and salt. This is why junk food slogans like, "Once you pop, you can't stop," hold so much truth. The reality of intermittent fasting. How does it work? Intermittent fasting, IF, doesn't prescribe specific foods, but instead focuses on when you eat. The most common method, 16 to 8 fasting, involves fasting for 16 hours and eating within an 8-hour window. Other methods include OMAD, 1 meal a day, and alternate day fasting. The fundamental principle of IF is calorie restriction. By limiting the time available to eat, many people naturally consume fewer calories. However, it's not magic. All diets work by restricting calories in some way, whether by reducing carbs, Atkins, cutting out processed foods, paleo, or eliminating food groups, veganism, carnivore diet. While IF seems simple, it presents some challenges, especially in meeting nutritional needs. Take protein intake as an example. A 200-pound, 90-kilogram man generally requires at least 200 grams of protein per day for muscle maintenance. If dieting, this number often increases to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight, meaning he needs 240 grams of protein daily. That's the equivalent of nearly 2 pounds, 800 grams, of chicken. A challenging amount to consume within a short eating window. The downsides of intermittent fasting. 1. Muscle loss and protein. Deficiency. Muscle preservation requires 2 key factors: resistance training and adequate protein intake. IF makes it harder to consume enough protein, leading to lean muscle loss, which can negatively impact metabolism. Research shows that fasting for extended periods results in a decline in essential amino acid levels, which are crucial for muscle maintenance and overall health. Second, metabolic slowdown. One of the biggest concerns with IF is how it affects metabolism. While short-term fasting, less than 24 hours, may slightly boost metabolism in lean individuals, studies suggest that for overweight individuals, metabolism can slow down by 7 to 8% within 48 hours of fasting. This is counterproductive for long-term fat loss, because a slower metabolism makes it harder to maintain weight loss. 3. Increased hunger and overeating. Fasting triggers a rise in ghrelin, the hunger hormone. This can lead to intense cravings, making it harder to maintain healthy eating habits. Many people on IF end up binge eating during their eating window, which can negate the calorie deficit they aim to achieve. 4. Lack of scientific consensus. Many of the purported health benefits of IF, such as increased longevity and cellular repair, autophagy, come primarily from rat studies, which do not always translate to humans. In contrast, human studies on fasting have shown mixed results, with some indicating negative effects, such as increased inflammation in overweight individuals rather than the expected anti-inflammatory benefits. 5. Potential for nutrient deficiency. With a shortened eating window, many essential micronutrients, fiber, and healthy fats may be underconsumed. This can lead to digestive issues, fatigue, and weakened immune function over time. Is there a better way? Rather than relying on extreme dietary restrictions, a balanced approach may be more sustainable. Research supports a consistent, moderate eating pattern that includes whole, unprocessed foods to avoid hyperpalatable, addictive junk food. Adequate protein intake spread throughout the day for muscle preservation. Regular meal timing to keep metabolism steady and avoid hunger-driven binge-eating episodes. Strength training and physical activity to maintain metabolic rate and muscle mass. For long-term success, focusing on quality nutrition rather than restrictive eating windows is key. While IF may work for some, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution and may be counterproductive for individuals trying to lose weight and maintain muscle. Conclusion: should you try intermittent fasting? While intermittent fasting can be a useful tool for some, the science behind it is still evolving. Many of its claimed benefits remain unproven in human studies, and for individuals who are overweight, it could lead to metabolic slowing and excessive hunger, making long-term weight management more difficult. Instead of extreme dietary restrictions, a better approach may be consistent, balanced eating with a focus on whole foods and adequate protein intake. If you're considering EF, weigh the pros and cons carefully and ensure that it aligns with your overall health and fitness goals. There are smarter, more sustainable ways to achieve fat loss without compromising muscle mass and long-term metabolism.